What's going on, America? Got a little call to action for you guys. This isn't an actual call to action, show up on the streets. It's a call to action to spread the information everywhere. This is a call to action to get this information into the ear of everyone across all of Western civilization. Tommy Robinson, somebody who has been standing on the front line, fighting behind enemy lines against radical Islam's takeover of the UK. Most of you guys are probably aware of who Tommy Robinson is. This is an independent journalist who basically documents radical Islam's takeover of the UK and Europe. Now, he was recently arrested, I believe within the last day or two. He was arrested for disturbing the peace and inciting something or another, and he's actually looking at some jail time for it, some major jail time. And if he is to be thrown into this jail, there's a good chance he won't make it out alive because, well, there's a lot of radical Islamists that are inside these prisons and a lot of associates of radical Islam within these prisons that they will try to send him to. Now, I haven't gotten all the full information yet. I've still got information coming in, but Kyle Chapman reached out to me just moments ago on a text message and asked me to get some information out to all of my viewers and people that follow my page. So basically, here's what I want you to do. This is the call to action. What you need to do is you need to Google Tommy Robinson arrested. You need to Google it. Find every report you can. You can find it on Louder with Crowder and some of the other guys that do major podcasts and things like that. It's being talked about. What you need to do is share these links all over Facebook with the hashtag violation of free speech, hashtag UK radical Islam takes over UK. You need to hashtag all this stuff and you need to post the shit out of it. This guy and the people he's affiliated with and others in the UK have been fighting against this. This man was standing outside of a court building filming and documenting the court case of radical Islamic pedophiles who have been raping children. Now, we all know that radical Islam is okay with 40, 50-year-old men marrying 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old girls and having sex with them the moment they start bleeding. We all know this. This is a fact. This is not something made up. This is not some Islamophobia bullshit. This is fact. We all know this shit. And radical Islam seems to think that their religious rights and their freedom of religion somehow protects them against any consequence for mutilating female genitals, raping children, marrying children. They seem to think that they can use the freedom of religion to enact this type of behavior in Western society. And they need to come up against a very large brick wall of patriots across the globe in Western society that says absolutely not. Pedophilia, genital mutilation, and all this other shit is not gonna happen in Western civilization. Now, we in America, we see it happening, but our law is taking care of it here in this country. When they're caught, they're rounded up, they're thrown in prison where they deserve to go because they're fucking animals for doing it. You don't mutilate children and you don't rape children. It's disgusting. And you deserve to rot in a goddamn cage like the fucking animal you are. But Tommy Robinson and the rest of these guys over in the UK are behind enemy lines. Their countries have already been taken over by radical Islam. Their mayors and city councilmen and governors and whatever other politicians they have in their countries have been taken over by Muslim politicians and Muslim city councilmen. And these are radical Muslim extremist sympathizers. These are people that see terrorists as lost souls and radical Islam as the way of the future for the Western society and Western civilization. This shit has to end. And the UK needs to know that America does not stand with the UK if the UK is going to silence free speech, throw people in prison for documenting the rape and mutilation through radical Islam of children. We're not going to stand for this shit. And they need to know that. And we need to pressure our government to pressure their government to end this shit. If they're going to allow their citizens to be raped and pillaged by radical Islamists all across their country, and their government is going to round up people who are standing against it, who are documenting it, who are using freedom of speech and independent journalism to bring the attention to the rest of the UK and Europe, if they're going to throw these people in prison for that shit because they're getting paid and their pockets lined by radical Islamic money, that it's time that maybe UK isn't our ally. It's time to reevaluate who our allies are, as far as I'm concerned. It's time to look on the bigger picture and say, you know, when we became your ally, whatever country it is, when we became your ally, things are different now. And it's time to reassess. Just like we're renegotiating trade deals, NAFTA, and all this other stuff, it's time to renegotiate who our allies are, who we will protect, stand next to, and who we will not. And if it's people who have allowed their government to be infested with radical Islamic animals, then our government needs to cut ties with them and no longer be allies. We won't protect you. We won't help you. We won't do shit for you. We're cutting ties. And if the UK and other European countries, if they're going to act like this, if they're going to throw their own citizens in prison while they stand up and let these radical Islamic migrants off the hook when they're raping and pillaging children, then it's time that we cut ties with them altogether. Because the UK no longer stands for the same values that America stands for, that the free world stands for. They don't stand for it no more. Many of these countries in Europe, their governments no longer stand for the same values that we stand for. We cannot be allied with countries who have a demonic view of the world. We just can't. We cannot stay that way anymore. It can't happen. So my call to President Trump, and trust me, I'm going to be making some calls this week to the White House, to my senators and everything else. It is time to reevaluate and renegotiate who our real allies are. And if these governments around the world are going to protect radical Islamic migrants, radical Islamic takeover, the raping, pillaging, and the mutilation of children under freedom of Islam, then it's time to cut ties with these people and no longer be allies. No more money, no more trade, no more nothing. You fucking people are going to be cut off like North Korea. That's the way it needs to happen. This shit has got to end. Nobody hates Muslims. People hate radical Islam. And if you're a Muslim and you follow radical Islam, then you are our enemy. You are the enemy of Western society. You are the enemy of freedom. You are the enemy of American values and traditions. You are our enemy. If you believe in Sharia law should be the law of the land, you are not welcome. If you believe that mutilating little girls and marrying off little girls at 9 years old to 50-year-old men, you are not welcome in our society. We will not accept this shit. We will not be disarmed. We are prepared for your uprising in this country. I can promise you that. UK, Europe, all them countries over there, their people allow themselves to be disarmed. That is one thing you will never ever see with the American people. You will have to kill every last one of us to disarm this country. We will be armed. So if you rise up in this country, you start your rape mobs, you try to turn us into Sweden or the UK, we will slaughter you fucking people on the streets. Every last radical Muslim that steps foot on United States soil, they will abide by American values, American law, or they'll be slaughtered if they rise up. This shit has got to end. So take a minute after this video, go Google the Tommy Robinson stories and pump that shit out on every social media platform you can possibly find, because he's going to be arrested. He has been arrested. They're going to try to throw him in prison. And if he goes into prison, they're going to have him assassinated while he's in there. Why? Because he is revealing what's behind the curtain of radical Islam. And that is a 5th century barbaric ideology of rape, pillaging, mutilation, and submission. And I'll tell you this right now, radical Islam. America will never submit. We will never get on our knees. We will never pray to Allah or Muhammad or any other bullshit you seem to think you're going to get us to submit to do. It's not going to happen. Share this shit out, man. Get it out there. These are our patriots. They may not be American patriots, but they are patriots of the free world. And they need our help.